And we are back. Welcome back, everyone. So, where we last left off, the team seems to be gradually coming full circle. The first part of this journey saw the team in Nicodranus and eventually taking on the responsibilities of finding the last living heir of the Wanderman Assembly. However, we begin to understand this is a ruse, a falsehood. This seems to have been something done to put something in motion. During their journeys within Gnomeworks and the subsequent reining in the power of the Copper Keepers and the Copper Takers, the island of the Gnomeworks has been liberated from these guilds, as well as being handed over to the Unified Alliance of the Vasselheim contingent that was to help Gnomeworks get back on its feet, freeing up the team to journey ever deeper into the Shattered Islands. Here, however, they took a quick pit stop at the Haven, learned about merfolk, and for the first time began to understand Puck's rough edges and slight curiosity in an entity or something called Dominion, and discovering that Dominion had children, a turtle of ancient age, as well as Erebos. Here we begin to understand that their journey and leaving Dominion had set them on their own particular paths within Exandria. But the team then later on would meet the Voik, help the Voik free themselves from their inter-clan as well as the inter-wars that were subjugating all of the Shattered Islands. More importantly, we begin to understand that these lighthouses, these beacons of energy, possibly being connected directly to the Celestial Gate, and maybe even directly to the godlike creatures or gods themselves, depending on your perspective. But a showdown occurred between Earthen and his friends, defending his family from the last known simulacrum of Vassarisk. A attempt by Mason to draw out the team, weaken them, and possibly ambush them and finally be done with the group. However, it was quite well revealed by Mason. The team has become very powerful, very dangerous. And rather than directly engage the team, use this opportunity to understand what they're capable of now and find his way back to where we're not entirely sure. But Earthen saw this as an opportunity, and he put the crown on, put the stone in the empty mouth of the crown, and began his journey of discovery. As he raised the army of Scions and was establishing a almost near godlike presence, Earthen finally understood just how dangerous divinity could be, but just as how important its existence and the hope of divinity might mean to others. Both its absence and its misuse coming full circle. After Earthen's return, the Greenblades had decided to escort Earthen's family to Uthador, there to be in the safekeeping of the Dwarven king and the elf queen that rule that place. This team gathered about to discuss their next journey, a glistening kind of object on the horizon of the setting sun, as a group of Griffin riders began to descend into the meadowy fields on the very edge of the forested region that you guys are currently clustered. And here, a elven captain that goes by the name of Errand dismounts from a griffin, bearing the mark of the Kryn dynasty on her chevrons, her cloak with the blue, gold, green of the Griffin Rider organization that defends the queen, as personal bodyguards, as well as Denotzer as a member of the Capital Barracks, the ones specifically designed for defending the capital city of Rosh Hashanah, the capital of the Kryn dynasty. The sun is beginning to set, the forest background beginning to come alive with the nighttime air. The captain stands nearby. Well, it's taken some time to find the four of you. Although I was given a description of a fifth, a Elendril elf of Fey origin. Is she no longer present or traveling with you?
She was traveling the Fey with a few of our other former companions.
Oh, Caleb did not mention this when I made contact with him. He did mention that you were in the Sirios, and I was able to locate you. I was wondering, care to go for a flight? The Queen has some questions for you.
Just as a sidebar, we were trying to make it so Caleb would think we are dead. Timeline-wise, does that make it seem like he knows we're alive, or is it something from probably beforehand?
Give me an insight check on that one. See what this conversation is revealing to you.
I will, but does anybody more insightful want to try?
Not an insightful kitty, I don't think. Oh, actually, I am. I'm quite an insightful kitty. Give me a moment.
I can give you inspiration.
Give you guidance.
Inspiration, guidance, and Spot can give you the help action, which gives you advantage.
Oh, yep. Okay. It is a +1, so I apologize in advance.
Okay, you get a D12 from me.
You're kidding me. It was a 19 first try. Way. Please don't waste any of it on me. Oh my god.
So
now
20,
I roll on this.
You get a D12 from Earthen.
Oh.
And a D4 from Zenith.
Add all that together and you get...
Oh my god, okay.
Up to a 30, 5?
So it's 25, yeah.
Yeah. Just for shiggles. Roll with advantage, because technically Spot's giving you the help action.
Now I feel bad for
complaining. I'm sorry. I've got a dirty 20 to help you. So.
I would laugh if you roll a natural 20. That'd be great.
Well, now I rolled a natural 3. So
there you go. Now we're seeing some
more like it.
Staring at this captain, you get the feeling that she is operating off older information. In fact, you get the feeling that maybe she was given information based on Caleb sharing information with the Bright Queen. And this could have been a lot like weeks ago in comparison. This does not feel like a direct effort of Caleb involving himself. This feels like somebody who was tasked with a very specific goal of locating you. And based on what they've learned, they finally found you. All four of you.
Can I extend that insight check to see who might be looking for us?
You can give me a history check on the Bright Queen, if you want.
Okay. I was hoping my good luck would extend to that. Okay,
oh, no. Yeah, well, no, give me a history check. I'll lower the DC because of that insight check. That was pretty darn good. So.
Okay. Thanks. That's going to be a 16.
16 is still pretty good. Knowing that the Bright Queen is a drow elf, she is said to be well over 2,000 years old. She was pivotal in bringing, or at least help simmering the war that had almost occurred many years ago through the help of a group of individuals from, I think it was Vox Machina that were involved in the. Or was it the Mighty Nine? It was the Mighty Nine, right?
Mighty Nine.
Yeah, because they helped deliver the beacon and help return the beacon, which simmered the calls for war between the Kryn and Dwendalian Empire. Since then, it's been a series of diplomatic efforts between the two groups to finally come to a permanent peace. With the eventual absence of the Queen of Dwendal and the rise of the Queen of Dwendal, a universal pact amongst the Wildemont kingdoms have finally brought a more permanent peace. And due to their proximity to the Menagerie Coast, the family that runs the Menagerie Coast was also kind of pulled into this agreement. And for the first time in a long time, for the last decade, Wildemont has enjoyed a great deal of peace and prosperity over most of the unified kingdoms. While they also have a very powerful navy that exposes them to some of the activities of the Lucidian Sea, this could be a request based on some of the strange occurrences with the Shattered Isles, as well as the strange occurrences within the Lucidian Sea. The rifts are still exposed. The great rifts and kind of cataclysmic effect of the aura of magic energy that surrounds the Shattered Isle still continues, still persists. While you guys have mostly been on a journey of trying to understand maybe what Mason was attempting to do through the use of the blood well and whatever he's trying to accomplish after acquiring the remains of Strahd's citadel or Strahd's castle, other things have still been kind of going on around you while you've been kind of down in this area. But with your return to the Sirios Mountains and to Wildemont proper, it would seem that the Bright Queen has become aware of your presence and seems to simply want to have an audience with you and ask you questions. At least the captain's conversation and the feeling you get from this conversation kind of makes that seem likely.
I understand. Okay. I guess I mentally communicate that to everyone. What do you guys think? Should we go with them? We're kind of on a time crunch.
If they mean to help, I can't see this being a bad idea.
Earth and Sea.
We could also check in on Sibo and Winter while we're there.
That sounds like a good idea.
I mean, assuming we're going somewhere that's tied with Fae people, so.
We're on a relatively tight time schedule, right? We're trying to get to this blood vault before Mason does or Ludinus does.
Well, we have the key, right?
Well, as far as you know, Ludinus is still in prison, although
Yeah.
you have some suspicions about that. You possess both the location and the keystone that would gain you access to the blood well within the blood vault itself. And you just had that interaction with Mason not that long ago. The ambush attempt failing and him deciding not to engage at that moment.
That would have been nearly the same day.
Yeah, nearly the same day. Although it might feel a little bit more dilated due to the fact of Earthen's disappearance and then reappearance as well.
Hey.
Can we ask them to, because I know time travel is different in the Fae. Is there any way to control that, to say that we will only go with them if they can guarantee that it will be as though like half a second passed?
She kind of laughs. I'm sorry, I did not explain myself well. Rosh Hashanah is the capital city of the Kryn dynasty. We do not exist in the Fae. We are east of the Dwendal Empire. The Bright Queen, her throne resides there. She is the one that has brought us to where we are and founded the Great Kryn dynasty some 2,200 years ago. We do not travel to the Fae. We travel to the blighted lands of the far east of Wildemont.
Are you familiar with a figure named Zebo?
I am not. Is she important? Should we seek her out?
If she hasn't reached out to you in regards to us, then it's probably best not to. And try to talk to her. And is that a good time? Because she did know more than she was letting on. And at this point, I'd be curious to know where she was situated. But the question is, are we investigating lore when we should be preventing the end of the world?
Well, we can multitask, right? We can hop on these griffins and because we're not flying them, and Xanth is muted.
Yes, I said we can hop on the griffins and shoot her a message while we go. Maybe get a short rest in.
Oh, okay. Good thinking. We need it.
Get that sneaky short rest in for sure. Well, be on our way. If you don't mind, I will lead along with my scouts. The other griffins will follow accordingly, but please be cautious and be mindful. Please, this way. The captain kind of guides you through some of the other griffin riders, various elven folk, high elves, drow. You could see one of the griffin riders is kind of like a bugbear. Another one's kind of a short little goblin. And they kind of all mount the first of the 4 griffins and kind of begin to lead the other 4 up into the air as you guys get onto your griffins. And you can feel yourselves cycling up and out and over until the forest floor is below you, the pathway north through the forest of the Sirios, and then eventually towards the Floquet is the direction that Earthen's family will be taking with the Greenblades, way off near the Graying Lands and the frozen tundra of the Uthadern landscape. All of you will be going a more direct northerly route over the Savalier Woods and eventually down into the blighted lands of the Kryn to come into the dark volcanic landscape of Rosh Hashanah, a very kind of permanent semi-dust cloud that hovers over it, allowing the sunlight to not be immediately affected of those dark underdwellers that live within Rosh Hashanah and the nearby blighted landscape. But as you guys take off, it's about a 2 to 3 day journey to get there by griffins.
Do we have 2
That's a
to
long
3
trip.
days? Should we just teleport there?
Well, we'd have to plane shift, and that means time's gonna go crazy.
Oh, God, I got spoiled. I'm tired of the traveling parts of an adventure.
And you can hear her voice over the winds as the griffins are tearing. Our plan is to remain flying as much as we can. We'll take rest on the back of the griffins. We can push them through. Normally this takes 5 or 6 days, but we promised the Queen to have you there as soon as we can. Unfortunately, we've tried teleportation and other magical effects. They seem to have a negative outcome within the Blighted Lands. We think it has something to do with that. And you watch as the captain points up into the sky to see the backdrop of the sun and, you know, Kathia and Rudius like beginning to do their apogee merge at the same time. So you could tell that the kind of landscape and the astral scape of what you can see from Exandria is beginning to shift and change. A forced apogee does seem to be occurring, per what you learned from Ludinus, for sure.
I'll keep ritual casting telepathic bond between us.
Okay.
That way, the 4 of us can communicate easily, but also without divulging plans.
Oh, actually, I can Can I expedite the travels by casting Ashadillian's Stride on the
Ooh.
Griffins?
Yeah, what does that do? Sounds like a high level thing that Puck has gotten recently.
It's so it's depending on the level, it's billowing flames of a dragon blast from your feet, granting explosive speed. For the duration, your speed increases by 20 feet, and your moving doesn't provoke opportunity attacks. And then at a higher level, it adds like another 5 feet to each slot. So if I do it at the
How many targets are
first
you
level,
looking at?
then it would be like extra, like it would make it faster by
Up to how many targets can you cast it on, though?
I guess I can cast it on myself, but I guess with Lunch, because he was my familiar, it could also work on him. Yeah, it says self, so it might not work.
Yeah,
Or
it definitely doesn't feel like a group effort. Like it feels like it definitely speeds you up, but you're not entirely sure it would affect the group as a whole.
what if we do true polymorph and turn me into a griffin, and then I do that on myself?
You want to be a griffin forever?
I mean, for a reasonable amount of time. Will that make it into 1 day instead of 2? Because that's almost 50% faster. That's 40% faster.
I mean, I appreciate the math for sure.
I am making up math. I'm so sorry. I don't know how much faster that is.
I mean, it actually wouldn't make you all that much faster because the other griffins are still hosting their riders. So for you, it would make you a little bit faster because you and your other griffin wouldn't have riders. Once again, sending you guys further ahead.
So
good ideas, but unfortunately not really effective enough.
Fair.
theoretically, I could mass polymorph all the griffins into dragons.
True.
Assuming dragons fly faster than griffins.
Is there any intelligence or wisdom contingents on that?
On the, you mean on the
Polymorph effect? Can they be polymorphed?
I can transform up to 10 creatures of each. An unwilling target must succeed a wisdom saving throw. Unwilling shape changer automatically succeeds. They assume the beast form of choice. Can choose a different one for each if I want. New form can be any beast you've seen whose challenge rate is equal to or less than the target or half the target's level.
I mean, I would say if you have a conversation, I would say if you have a conversation with the captain and express the urgency, I mean, turning into an ancient dragon, now that you know what one looks like. And
I meant turning the griffins into dragons. So we're just
they would be
we're riding dragons instead.
Right,
so.
But they would definitely be unwilling to do it. So they'd have to
talk
fail
to them.
Their wisdom saves.
Oh. If I talk to them, can I make them willing? Can I try to convince them?
Or what if we turn into dragons and carry the griffins?
Wait, yes. That is faster.
Or what if I mass polymorph everybody in the group into a different animal that flies?
Yes.
And we just see who gets there first.
I mean, as long as you're turning it into a healthy competition, for sure.
And you're an Aarakocra. And you're a crow. And
I'll leave it up to you guys.
or we can strategize. What can we be? Well, I mean, we can strategize while we're on the backs of these griffins, right? Because I mean, we're talking to each other.
I mean, you're down in the Sirios near the Wyoming Gorge. You're looking at traversing the Ashkeeper Peaks, the Versglade, the many hosts of Yggdrathid. You're looking at the going over the Vermalic Wildwood, and then eventually being within the Barbed Fields and being down in Roshana. Even at full tilt, these griffins are going to take some time to get there. The fact that they chose not to use magic definitely has you guys concerned. Yeah, I mean, changing everybody into stronger and faster beasts, how long does the polymorph last for?
Let me say, sorry, scrolled away from it. It is concentration up to an hour. Up to an hour, yeah. I would have to keep recasting it like crazy.
Yeah, it would be an effort.
And it's a tough spell to cast as well. Excuse me. But while we're here, we could be doing some reach. I mean, we're able to rest on the back of these griffins. So, as we're going these days, we can be catching up on communications.
Mm-hmm.
We've got not a lot else to do, but only the four of us are talking in our heads to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, I could loop in Punch if we want to loop Punch into this conversation. I don't know that we would understand a word or noise that Punch makes, but it just says willing creatures. It doesn't say only humans.
You don't want to know what he thinks about you guys. I think we just all
Punch is just like holding on to the back end of a griffin with Punch in front of him. His eyes are wide with fear,
I mean, he probably is happy with me because I brought him to you, but
yes. Yeah, I think. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. What were you gonna ask?
I was just gonna ask: Are there any allies that we want to speak to during this 2-day journey to get information or to rally people?
Well, Sibo went to investigate more about some things going on in the Fae.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Sibo doesn't know anything about what we know about Ludinus.
Mm-hmm.
She was an ally to us as long as she was around. Even though she wasn't a gnome, she was Fae. And we didn't know that until the last minute.
And Dominion said some weird stuff about her, but obviously that doesn't really mean much. He just said that she was hiding stuff and not to trust her, but, she was hiding stuff and she was probably trustworthy.
I mean, we all hide things.
And it was that, was it Dominion or was it the hag inside the giant monster that was eating us that said you can't trust Sibo?
Talk about the magical Fae creature, the Fae
The
hag.
Yeah, the Fae hag.
Yeah.
The Fae hag.
Someone was like, you absolutely cannot trust Sibo. I think it was the Fae hag, but then they might have lied to us, but...
Well, I still have her here if we want to talk to her while we're riding those griffins. I don't know how the logistics of it would work, but Fae seem to have their ways to make things work. And I think it would be nice for all of us to have a chance to ask her some questions, because she was an unusual figure information-wise.
I mean, I don't think she likes Spot, though, right?
She did not. She did not like me. Not a fan.
It's what happens when two chaotic individuals meet.
Mm-hmm.
Why
I've not known hags to be particularly, what's the word, trustworthy?
I mean, trustworthy or not, even though she did not like Spot, she gave Spot the coin that saved their lives.
I mean, she did do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she told us about that person she was working with who was going to the Shadowfell to reach out to a loved one that was lost. We didn't really find out what was that about, but it seemed
But that's the same lady that was trying to perform the scry on us, who is probably dead now, or if not dead, a vampire.
Yeah.
Because she was hiding in a cave, and we made a deal that we didn't keep our end of the bargain on.
Yeah.
I think part of what came out with her was also that she might have worked with Ludus at some point, or might she, if Ludus has any kind of reach outside of his prison, she might know about it.
Well, the gang from Drusar were
Yeah.
definitely Ludinus's buddies.
So maybe the Feyhag can, if we ask the right questions, tell us how exactly Ludinus has been communicating with the outside world.
It's still we need to tell someone about that. I don't think we've told anyone about that yet. Outside of, hey, someone go tell this to Caleb. I told the guard, I was like, hey, go tell Caleb that he's casting
I
spells.
don't trust Caleb. Caleb can go kick rocks.
Hey,
Caleb does not have his house in order.
neither do
He
we.
thinks he's so great, but he doesn't know crap.
Says the one who stole the soul of a merfolk who was
Yeah,
feeble-minded.
We've been through this. Okay.
I'm just saying, look, hey, I admit I screwed up with that whole, whatever the hell that just happened. It was kind of cool for a minute, but not what I intended. Not what I intended.
It's how you learn.
Yep.
By becoming a god and then undoing what you do.
Okay, why don't I ring Sibo and see if we can find out what she's learned while we're flying.
Like a good plan.
Or at least what her status is.
Or what her status is, yeah. So I'll cast sending to Sibo and say, Sibo, can you tell us what you and Winter have found? We're in a relatively dangerous position. Headed to see the Bright Queen.
Any reason hags don't like you?
You feel the arcane energy or the divine energy find its way out into the ether, but no target.
No target? Does it feel like there's nothing to be found, or like someone resisted it, or does it feel like I'm in a place where magic is not passing?
Feels like the magic is working. You felt this before. The last time this happened, you tried to send a message to someone who had already passed on.
No.
Uh-oh.
So I'm not getting anything. It feels like the magic's going out, but it's not finding anything.
Do you want us to see if we have something of hers, to see if she has passed on, you might be able to reach her?
Let me try Winter and see if I can reach her. And I'll send a message to Winter and say, Winter, hope you're okay. Can't reach Sibo. Can you tell us if you're all right?
Same thing.
I can't reach Winter either.
Shit.
We do still have some stuff of hers. I don't know
I could
exactly.
try and scry, yeah. I'll try to scry on Sibo while we're sitting on the back of a griffin.
Okay.
And see if I can find her.
Your mind's eye has nothing to attach to.
I just can't find her. I just can't find her at all.
Oh no.
Can I try casting sending to Puck and just see if she gets anything? Just like, hey, Puck, can you hear me?
In stereo.
Yeah.
The magic is
telepathic bond
working.
and sending. And it's like,
Well, you definitely get the feeling the magic is working.
Okay.
Typically with send and as well as scry, if the person's passed on and no longer alive, that's typically the result of the spell. So the spell's kicked off. You felt the spells work, but they don't have anyone to communicate with. There's no one to scry on that matches the object or the description. They don't physically exist.
How many times can you do that?
I
I'll
can
be
do it
right
a few
back.
more times, but not a ton.
Okay. Because we know Peroni also went with them, right?
Yeah, I think
It
that's
was two
right.
of them and Peroni,
Yeah.
and then some other people.
It just seems weird. I didn't think Sibo, she seems like a person who knows how to keep herself safe.
She survived that volcano
Yeah.
that basically all but killed us.
Yeah. That basically no one else survived.
Yep.
I mean, if either of those seem helpful, I still have the coin that Erebos gave me if we need to talk to him. Or I have the tear of the Fey Hag if we want to reach out to her.
Erebos might not want to talk to us for now.
Valid.
Sorry. No,
I'm sure. I'm sure he's busy with other adventurers.
Yeah.
With sort of hurtling through space and time.
We do know. We do know that Erebos. We do know how Erebos was captured now, though, and we do know that Ludinus had his hand in that.
Yeah.
And we know that Mason was the catalyst to start that whole thing off. Outside of a long, long time ago, we don't know when. We don't know when that was.
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw all that. I kind of re-experienced all that, but I couldn't tell you when it was, other than it was long, long ago. Ludinus looked much younger than we saw him in the prison. It still bothers me that he's practicing magic in that prison cell. I couldn't get anything out in there.
He must just be crazy powerful.
Well, he's really, really, really old.
Yeah.
Really old. Artificially old.
Let's celebrate the fact that he's really, really old. But like in a wow, we insulted him so much. He is shite.
We drenched him in tiger pee.
And he was gross. Okay.
Do we think
it's
possible that what is in this blood vault is like his phylactery?
No. It was that necklace. Well, the vision we saw was the necklace got dropped in the blood vault. It was like Strahd's necklace.
A talisman of blood?
Okay. Yeah, it was an artifact of Dominion, we were told also.
Okay.
Like it was the talisman, but it was an artifact of Dominion. And dropped in the blood vault.
Hmm.
And we destroyed the evil painting that killed Spot.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Yep.
We did. I was not a fan of that painting.
I should have given my kids those paints. I still have those stupid magical paints.
Oh, you took them with?
Oh, I gave them the Stone of Greater Illusion. I should have given them the magic paint set.
Oh, yeah.
I just realized that. I'm digging through the bag of holding. I'm like, I had the
paint.
Speaking of, I also still have the chaos orb if we need anything to do with that.
You mean if we need to be chaotic, more chaotic than the last 24-ish hours of becoming a god and then undoing humanity and then redoing
just the minor
humanity
things
again?
in life, nothing major.
Yeah, we don't know what it can summon, but if we need to summon an object and we're not really sure how to get it, it might be helpful, or it might not. So do
I
we
mean-
want to talk to the hag?
For shits and giggles, we could reach out to the Jinn too, right?
Oh
I
my
mean, you guys saw him.
Let's do a farewell tour to all of our enemies who want to kill us.
Hey, Dominion, what's up, man?
It's still an option. I still have the coin of awareness. I can go to the
We-
other dimension and see what's up if anybody has a plan for that.
But there's also Gorgrim, right? So Gorgrim has been moderately involved in all these things as well. And we parted when we left Haven and all that was going on. He went with the rest of the merfolk. I mean, he rode with us on the whales, right, to get into the Isles at that point. Which then we got into the magic trap of the magic mansion mimic, but Gorgrim was not in there. He was the one that was dealing with someone who claimed to be Mannheim before. He's also the odd one out of all the merfolk because he was the wereshark guy.
Mm-hmm.
Which one can you do more of, I guess? Is it easier to scry or is it easier to talk telepathically?
Well, it's easier to talk. It's easier to talk. That's a lower level spell, but I can only use 25 words, at a time.
Yeah.
Scrying, I can't talk to people, but I can just see what they're up to. And then there's some of us have this astral projection thing, right? Where you can kind of meet someone on another plane.
I can, yes. I've also got a belt that lets me jump into the ethereal plane.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I can astral project. It's just I can't do it all that often because it takes a lot of key points.
Well, we're gonna be sleeping on the griffins, so
Yeah, no worries.
Do we all just want to individually commune with our, different entities and individuals that we can reach out to real quick and then catch up and see what we're able to kind of gather?
Sure.
I will just write in my notebook.
I'm sure you can find someone. You can.
I have no spells of that kind of thing. I can summon them to me. I can gate them here, but which that would be kind of funny to gate Gorgrim here while we're flying on the back of a griffin.
Go for it. Worst case scenario, you deck him off.
No, best case scenario, he comes out of the portal and falls to his death. He's an underwater guy, and we're in the air flying.
I'm sure he'll figure it out.
Yeah, something like that.
Secretly, the Griffins are like, these are the good guys?
Hey, that was my reason to not summon him. But if you guys are going to do that, I'll try the crown again, though. This time, not trying to be a god.
Sounds like a plan. Who wants to go
That
first?
was never my intention to begin with, but
It was a very ironic outcome. I feel like if Xanath goes first, the rest of us might be able to have more questions to ask, with that information.
True, yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
fair. So I think I'm gonna I will reach out to the head of my temple in Nicodranus, and because it seems like what we know is that Ludinus is threatening the divine, or he's trying to create a threat to the divine. So I'll reach out to the head of my temple and say, I've received information Ludinus is seeking to damage the Celestial Gate or in some way to bring about an end to the Divine. Are you aware? Can you tell me any information?
There's a brief silence, and then do you have a head of your order in mind, or can I just use one that I've built?
Yeah, you can just use one you've built.
His very gruff but stoic response. I understand. There have been some strange signs, and this is going to sound very ominous. We have evidence that the Fae no longer exists. Can you confirm or deny this fear? And then it cuts off.
I'll send. I'm assuming this is happening the next day when I have more spell slots. I'll send another message back saying, I've tried to scry and message several individuals in the Fae with no success. It's like I just can't reach them.
I understand. That is the kind of confirmation that we would require. We are making consultations with the United Emissaries of Isora as well as Todori. There are concerns. I will reach out to you when I know more.
I'll send one more message back and say, what do you know about a man named Mason?
What's up, Pirate?
Not a name I'm familiar with. If it is a person of interest, I will make inquiries and get back to you.
Okay. Okay, so that's 3 messages to that person. Who else? Are there other people you guys wanted me to cast sending to?
If the Fae's gone, that kind of changes things.
It's a game changer.
Well, shit, now it might be worthwhile to try and talk to the hag if the Fae's gone, because she might be gone.
Yeah. Okay, I take out the hag's tier and try to reach out to her.
I can only imagine what the guys flying these griffins are seeing right now. we keep looking back and forth to each other, not saying any word. We're just like,
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
you're
before I
behind.
do that, can I use a new magic that I have that I'm very excited about?
Ooh.
Yes, finally that I'm 20, I have cool magic-ish. Augury, I can pronounce that word. Augury.
Yeah.
And then anything I can. So I can kind of see about 30 minutes into the future, just as far as like if this will go wheel for good result, woe for bad results, wheel and woe for both good and bad results, nothing for results that aren't specifically good or bad. So just to see if I get good results for using the Tears Hag, because I don't want to waste it.
The feeling you get is both good and bad.
That's not helpful.
It's
The worst one.
The way you ask of the augury to kind of reveal itself to you, it feels as if there's both an opportunity to learn something, which could be good, but its result could be bad.
Okay, that's better than nothing, I guess. So I'll use it. Hi, Hag. It's me.
are you supposed to eat it? How do you use it?
She didn't really say.
You just gently speaking
I think
to
you gotta eat it, you know.
Oh, that's fun.
You have to eat it.
Delicious tears.
You gotta make it into a nice little drink that you put in a mug.
That feels so grimoire.
See these are
Do I
hag
have any
tears.
instincts about what
Hag
to do with
tears.
this
Haha,
tear?
cry, cry. Hmm.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Do I have any instinct on what to do with this tear?
I mean, the last thing you remember her saying was to hold on to it, and then evoke her, and she should reach back out to you.
Okay, I try to evoke her, try to connect to, the spiritual part of the brain and reach out to her.
Hey, you old hag.
Yes.
You feel your voice connect with something. You feel a kind of bond immediately uncurl, and the familiar voice is in your head already. Hello?
Hi, it's been some time.
It has. You're still alive.
As are you. We
Yes, well, I'm trapped in a room within a device that seems to be traveling the astral sea forever. So yes, as long as I'm not directly threatened, I think I might be here forever. Anyways, how are you?
we've seen better days.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Do you require my help?
Actually, I think we might be in a rare position to help each other.
Oh, really? That is interesting.
To start, it appears that something has happened in the Fae. Do you still maintain a connection to the Fae even though you are separate from it?
I do. As a former member of the Unseelie Court, I am connected. They should not bother us anymore. Although I might starve to death now. I should cultivate these few pixies more carefully than I have.
They shouldn't bother us anymore. How do you mean?
But do you have a familiar that comes from the Fae?
I do.
Don't let them die, dearie. Whatever you do, don't let them die. There's no place for them to go back to.
Do you know what happened to the Fae?
I'm not sure what happened, but I reach out to my sisters. I am unable to find them. And the only reason for that to be is if, well, honestly, it must be because the Fae's been destroyed, of course.
We are currently in opposition to some fairly unsavory characters who have
Put it mildly, just a little unsavory.
who seem to have made it their mission to destroy things that are holy, that are divine. Do you have a sense if the Fae might fall under such categorization to someone like that?
I would imagine that the effort to destroy anything divine would require a great deal of power. Perhaps the Fae is being consumed or has been consumed in an effort to wield such great power.
Has somebody in the Fae been trying to wield a similar power?
Not that I know of, dearie. Not that I know.
Where are you currently in space? Are you still in the same location we've seen you last time?
Yes, I'm still in that room, eating what few pixies I have left.
Seems like kind of a cruel fate to be left alone there until time runs out. What if we could help you get out of there?
Oh. Now you have my interest. How does one get out of such a place?
Well, to start, we have somebody who can plane shift.
But I do not exist in a plane of existence.
Then where do you exist?
I exist in this prison of my own volition, I think. The master of this magic mansion tied me to it. One would have to seek out the master of this device, unbind it from them, and then I could be free.
And is the master the fine lady we've met when we saw you?
Oh no, she's but one of many caretakers of the device.
Then is the master a certain ancient wizard whose influence has extended beyond his own perceived prison?
You speak in strange tones, little one. Ask your question directly.
I am concerned that when asking directly, I will stretch your patience beyond its charity and into the space of negotiation and bargaining. I would rather save that to reach, or at the very least, I would like to know for a fact how many questions I can ask you directly before I do so.
You possess the tear that I gave you. As soon as this is broken, the tear becomes useless, of course. If you're going to ask me something of importance, I suggest you be specific. And be quick about it.
Is Lewdness the master in question?
I do not know who that person is. That is not the master in question.
Who is the master in question?
I do not know her name. It was never revealed to me. All I know, I was trapped here some 2,000 years ago.
I do minor allusion to the person we saw who we revived and left in the vault, who claims to be the original Wanderman. Is it her?
Yeah, I'm in your mind, not your optics.
Okay. Listen, I'm visualizing her.
I mean, give me a performance check and describe what she looked like.
Why do I always get stuck with those? Oh my god, that's a natural 1. That's 3.
You're doing your best to kind of describe what she might look like, and sorry, dear, but you're describing a very common humanoid creature. I've seen many of them. She does not sound familiar to me.
Can you
we're
describe
all just sitting
what
on
she
the other
is like? And if she answers to the name Wanderman by any chance?
She does not. I can tell you that the woman that placed me in this prison, the master of the Magic Mountain, she was a queen. She was a drow. Other than that, I don't know.
We are about to meet the Drow Queen. Is it her by any chance? The Bright Queen.
I don't know her name, and I don't know her moniker of what she was called. Many drow clans can use the term queen or leader or moonshade or whatever particular group of them call themselves. It's actually quite a common moniker amongst drow.
Can I describe the Bright Queen and see if that rings a bell?
Give me a performance check on that one, if you would. Could you try to describe it? Yeah.
20.
Hey.
Okay, 20.
Hey.
Yes, dear. That sounds a lot like the woman I dealt with.
Well, we're about to meet her, so what can I tell her that would help you get out and help us?
You could start by telling her I was sorry. Didn't mean for it to go the way it went. And that I properly learned my lesson.
Dude, that doesn't sound convincing even to an outsider. Is
Well,
there
I
a
don't
way
know
for
what
you
else
to
to
make
tell you,
amends?
dear. She put me in a prison for a reason.
We are about 3 minutes from the end of the world. I'm sure she will find it in her heart to amend the reason if you can help prevent that.
Oh, dear. Well, it's come to an end all the time. What's one more world to be snuffed out, to have another world made in its wake?
This one's better than the others. I've seen the others. They're not impressive. This one is. You've been in this room for too long. This one is perfect. It's not perfect, but it's not too bad, and I think you'll like it. You haven't seen it. You need to experience it before you judge it.
Give me a persuasion check, if you
God
will, please.
damn
That
it.
was a lot. That was a lot. Are you sure you don't want to play a bard next time?
Buck has gotten
know,
so
right?
so bold with bad guys, which I love. It's like, I'm not intimidated by this dude. I was talking to an evil god yesterday. Like, relax.
Huck's terrible choices have made her so jaded.
My best friend turned into a god and ended the world. Okay.
Yeah, yesterday. Not even yesterday, today.
Today.
It's a 7.
7?
Yeah.
Look, if you are convinced that she might be able to help me, I will give you this much to work with. I was once her sister. We had a difference of opinion. We had a falling out. She stayed on Exandria. I traveled to the courts of the Fae. I found myself falling into the wrong crowd. There was a bit of a conflict and a difference of opinion over, well, who or shouldn't lead our people. The details aren't important. She'll know who I am if you just let her know that her sister has learned her lesson and would love a final opportunity to air her grievances.
She's
and...
absolutely going to sing Poor Unfortunate Souls in a minute, okay?
Anyways, good luck, dear. You feel the shock.
No, I didn't ask my questions. Wait, lady, wait.
Feel the tear go ice cold and then slowly crack into little pieces of glass shard as it's fully consumed.
Damn it, that's what I guess for trying to play poker. Some news, you guys. First and foremost, oh yeah, I communicate that telepathically. We don't know those people. Tell them about this interaction. I omit the parts where I wasted time talking about nothing, and I tell them that we might be able to get her assistance if we can convince the Bright Queen to release her from her prison, and that I think she could be very helpful to us. If nothing else, she had a token to save Spot, which indicates that she is somewhat familiar with Strahd's castle and everything that kind of goes down there. It's an ally that could help us in some way if we can get her.
You make very strange allies.
Listen, I've fallen with bad people, but I promise I'm a good person.
Oh, I didn't judge you. I just said your allies are interesting.
You ended the world in this morning.
I undid it.
Okay.
By the way, for clarity for Spot, during this 3-day journey, you will pass over the sanctuary of your contact, your mentor.
Oh.
Ooh, yay! All right, cool. All right, guys, I might need to make a little bit of a sidetrack here. Maybe. I'm gonna reach out in a minute here. But
I kind of see Spot just randomly jumping off the Griffin.
You're
while
just
we're
like
flying
stepping
by.
up. I'll be
We're
right
just
back.
like, whoop, and we're like, what the hell? He didn't
The way
say it. He just jumps off, and we turn around and like, where'd Spot go?
Very
the way
Acme
Spot could do
Lab.
this faster by running there.
Spot probably could, you know.
Or at least till he runs out of key.
So you talked to a hag who said that she used to be the sister of the person we're going to see now.
Yeah, I mean, she was always an unusual character. At least now we know why.
And the person who we're going to see now is friends with the person that tried to lock us in the house to kill us.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean,
I
the
would.
hags were.
We were locked into that magic mansion with the intent of being devoured and never coming back to Exandria.
Yeah,
No,
like
that's yeah, but I wouldn't say they're friends.
did this thing like it must have fallen out of her possession or otherwise.
It definitely felt like that. Yeah. At some point, it was in her possession. She used it and she probably just lost track of it or was taken from her, for all you know.
I mean,
Just when I got over my paranoia.
The Bright Queen is Fae at the end of the day. Whatever is happening in the Fae right now, she can't be happy about it.
Well, there's nothing happening
She's
in the Fae right
drow,
now.
right?
It's not there.
It seems like it's more than not there. I mean, the hag couldn't contact it, and she kind of talked about it like something bad was going down.
I wonder if it's actually consumed or whether it's actually disappeared or if it's just separated such that like we can't reach it.
It seems plausible. I mean, honestly, though.
Can I roll insight on whether or not I think I did this?
Yeah, you
With
don't
that-
need to roll. This is not.
I mean, with the
This-
whole god and restructuring all this shit, and then being like,
No,
"Wait,
this
that was wrong. I
definitely
need to undo this."
this definitely feels like something different.
I definitely don't think that this had to do with me.
No, that all felt unbound.
It's hard for me to
undone.
say things like that something's not about me, but it definitely doesn't sound like it was about me.
Fair. By the way, this 3-day journey is just dilation. You guys
Yep.
reaching out, working on
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing, and whatever you want to put in motion on your journey to the Bright Queen.
Spot, should we do a pit stop at your contact?
Well, I want to give her a yell just to verify, kind of let her know so I don't just drop out of the blue. But yeah, like let me step away and just kind of see if I can contact her on the astral plane real fast. So Spot's gonna kind of duck out and like just get in the meditate position and see if they can reach out to Yelajan.
You guys watch as Spot descends into a weird kind of catatonic state. With your journey well underway, as you are now crossing over Zadash in the Mara Valley with the eventual crossing over the Ashkeeper Peaks and the remains of the journey over the lands of the Kryn. Down below, deep in like the shade of a mountain temple, you sense a connection with your mentor. And you astral project yourself to where you believe her to be. As your form comes into existence, you are on an impossibly tall mountain. You cannot feel, but you could see the ice flurries and the snow flurries of the frosted peak. You could see the great temple built into the side of the cliff face, the great stairwell that rises up to kind of almost look out and upon this massive valley that spills out down below you. There's both a feeling of familiarity and isolation at the same time. This feels like the right place. And as you look about in a very kind of centered and almost in a very kind of yoga-like pose, very large Luxodon wearing robes of her house. Without even turning to look back at your astral projection, you hear a heavy sigh and a breath of air as you hear the Luxodon's voice. Spot?
Hi, Yelijan! I'm back!
Are you? She looks over her shoulder, her huge braids and ivory tusks looking at you. Boy, you have grown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
haven't you?
Yeah. I'm not. I mean, I'm not a great one, but I'm actually a pretty okay monk. There's something to this. This is really cool. Anyway. I think I'm getting distracted here a little bit. So there's like some unfathomable evil like shit going down. We're literally about to flare up your area. We wanted to see if maybe you want to like maybe come with us and help, like maybe stop like the end of the world stuff. You know, just normal monk stuff.
End of the world stuff, Spots. Certainly
Yes.
nothing that you've started or instigated, I would hope.
No, not believe it or not. No, not me. My friend did just become a god for like 10 minutes and then like be like, oh, that was a mistake and reverse that. Also, we think the Fae might have like out of existence. It's weird. I don't really know.
There are portent signs in the skies that I can't help but notice. The forced apogee, even now, some of the more divine and astral of our order prepare to try to discuss and understand what's going on. And you say you're in the middle of all this, Spot?
Yes. Yeah, we think it has something to do with a weird vampire guy named Mason and like this really decrepit. I wasn't actually there for this part, but my friends have told me about it. There's like some guy that's being locked up that I think he's a really aged elf, but he might be a lich. He's supposedly got a phylactery somewhere. Bad things are happening, and we're pretty sure he's behind it. But you know, just normal monk stuff.
You speak of Ludinus Deleth.
That's the guy. Yes, that's him. Yeah.
Is he not rotting in a prison in Rexingtrum?
I wasn't there for this. I was speaking to Greenleaf, the leader of the Empty Paw Temple in Rexingtrum.
I know Greenleaf quite well. I've conversed with him on many occasions.
He's so cool. God, he's so cool. He's a bit weird to backseat, but man, he's a cool guy. I mean, yeah, obviously
Some things do not change much, do they, Spot?
No, not really.
I need you to focus.
Oh, okay.
Deep breaths. Am I to understand that you and your friends have visited Ludinus Deleth in the Rexingtrum prison, and now you fear that he is behind some of these occurrences that we are experiencing?
Yeah, the story I got from one of my friends that went to see him is we're pretty sure that the anti-magic barriers have a bit of a crack in them. Like they can't identify it, but they're pretty sure he's using some cantrips in there to make himself appear less squalid, appear younger. So we think that there might be some cracks in the foundation there.
So somehow he has figured out how to use magic then.
We think so. I cannot say firsthand. I was not there.
I understand. And what of Master Caleb of the Service Assembly? What did he have to say when you told him of such incident or concern?
I think he kind of said he'd look into it, but I don't know that there's been anything done about that. Also, we're not entirely sure we trust Caleb at the moment. Yeah. I think it might
His
be better
methods are definitely unusual. He can be a bit glib and standoffish in his attempts to deal with problems. I think it's more of a past life concern than sometimes our lives shape us into what we are. This is disconcerting. I was privy to the eventual capture and imprisonment of Ludnus Deleth. I would like to think he's going to stay there and rot until eternity concludes. Where are you and your friends traveling now? Where do you go?
We're trying to track down some. God, you know me, brain like a sieve. I'm just along for the ride. Can I bring you back? Can you want to follow me back to them and talk to these guys? They're way better at details than I am.
I do not have the ability to travel right now, unfortunately.
Okay. Let me pop that. Guys. Just overnight. Hey, details. Help me out here. Help me out. Come on.
The Bright Queen. What details? The Bright Queen. We're going to the Bright Queen.
No thoughts headed. Back in. Okay, sorry. We're going to see the Bright Queen of the Fate. We're on a bunch of griffins. We're literally overhead right now.
I love how Spot feels like it's a telephone, like a video telephone system.
Astral head of Spot pops out and says, "Tell me the thing. Tell me the thing."
Yeah, I love it. It's
Third
so
eye closed,
Spot.
one eye blinks open, just like hey.
So Spot. Ah, the Bright Queen. I know of its location. I will rest up this evening, and then upon your arrival, send me a message, and then I will astro project to the Bright Queen's emissary chamber, her grand chamber. If you're to be received by her, that's where you'll be received. If she's requested you and your friends specifically, I would highly recommend discipline and hear out what she has to say.
Okay, I can do that. This is so cool. I haven't seen you in so long. This is so cool.
Yes, the excitement is palpable. See you soon, Spot. Stay focused.
Hey, before you go,
Yes.
I know you're going to answer project, but if one of my idiot friends said something, can we tag team smack him on the back of the head? I'm really good at doing it with my tail. I feel like doing it with your trunk at the same time. That'd just be amazing. He's gonna say something stupid. Like that's for certain. He's a human bard. It will happen. I feel like this is our opportunity. You get me?
It's like I'm staring at the young disciple you once were. Good evening, Spot. See you soon. And you guys watch as his kind of like comatose form comes back into back to where he was or where they were. The wind whistling by. The Griffin Rider's still pushing hard and heavy forward.
Okay. So my master, my trainer, the monk that brought me into monkitude, she's gonna join us in the Queen's chamber when we get there. I just need to reach out and contact her. So this is gonna be cool. I'm so excited. She's so cool, you guys.
Oh, I've never seen Spot be so star-stricken.
It's so
It's a
cute.
little weird.
Yeah. Aw.
Why is he chasing the birds that were flying by? He's that
In true
excited.
cat behavior.
Oh, okay.
Also, if we have some off time, there are a few things I would like to just kind of do while we're waiting. The first one, I can officially bless water, so I would like to just bless as much water as I can.
How can you bless water?
Apparently, it doesn't matter which god you serve, even if it's a dark one.
I will not drink that.
I don't
water.
think Xanth is drinking this Dominion glass water.
Why does your water look like Kool-Aid?
It's just like icy black water.
Looks like red Kool-Aid.
Listen, it's not for us. It's for to throw on the vampires.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
I hopefully it'll do something and not just make them more powerful.
Right, that's what I can't
And
power up again. What the heck happened?
I would also I have a few objects I kind of need to just bring to the forefront so we don't overlook them while we're doing stuff. I still have the Firestone from the tower that I at one point connected with and used to attack. I can work on trying to connect with it further, since it's probably important. Although we haven't quite figured out how all of them work. Unless somebody else wants to touch it and hopefully not burn. I also have the chaos orb of chaos. I would like to just start experimenting with it before we really need it, in case it could end up helping us at some point. And then, like a personal reminder, I need to summon Lunch to make sure that he's okay, because the hag implied that he might not be. So that would be the first thing to do: summon Lunch, tinker with the orb with the prompt of something we need that we don't know we need yet, and see if it brings something. And after that, either try to connect with a stone or just bless as much water as I can spare.
Can I use the stone to try and reactivate the crown?
Yeah, of course.
Because
Also,
the stone was supposed to be a beacon, related to the beacon, right?
yeah, it was the beacon of the fire realm.
Yep.
Also, just as a fun thought, what would happen if you put the chaos orb in the crown? Would it summon the thing that needs to go inside?
He becomes Spot, is what happens.
So yeah, if anybody has any thoughts about what we should be doing with them, otherwise, while we have off time, that will be what Puck does.
I mean, if the Firestone doesn't work, I'm all about trying the Chaos Orb. Well, I don't know if I'm all about it, but I'm willing to give it a shot.
The Chaos Orb only works once a day, so I can either tinker with it now, or we can save it for something bigger.
I think we've got like 2 more days to travel, right? So
that's true. Okay, so for the first day, I would just like to give it the prompt, something that we need that we don't know that we need quite yet.
Toothpaste. What is this?
An iPhone case.
What is an iPhone?
A strange kind of bit of a unusual plant arrives in your hand. It's got a strange flower to it, a bit of bracken and thorn on the stem, has kind of like an oily secretion of sap coming from it. It looks like a very, very specific sample of a plant that has been revealed.
Can I use my nature check on it?
Yeah. Give me a nature check.
Have plus 11. I've stacked all of my stuff on this,
Ooh.
and I never use it. 22.
22.
All right, Taylor.
Yeah, right? This plant is from the Fae.
Oh.
It is a bracken star. And the reason why you recognize it is you can remember Winter talking about it. This definitely confirms your belief. The Fae still exists, but it might be severely threatened.
Can I kind of use my nature check also to see why this, of all Fae plants, was given to us, or my arcane knowledge?
You can give me arcane on it. Arcana.
Wow, I'm rolling like shit. This is a 4 plus 5. This is 9.
9. There's something unique about the plant. Probably what's more important is the fact that it's linked to a memory of Winter.
Oh. Xana, do you mind trying to scry on her with this? Maybe because it's from the Fae, it would have an easier time reaching her.
Yeah, I can try again. I don't know if I'll be able to get her, but I can, hold on to the flower and think about Winter and try and scry on her.
Can I help her at all with either my feral awareness or with any kind of connection I have to the beacon stone?
You can give her guidance, just calming words, descriptions, and the importance of getting hold of Winter, almost like a kind of soothing idea that you're help guiding her in that direction.
You can make sure I don't fall off the griffin.
And it's weird because all four of you are near each other, almost wingtip to wingtip. The other four Griffin riders flanking up ahead and kind of pressing forward ever deeper, crossing over the Morrow and now getting closer to the Ashkeeper Peaks. Zenith, you get lost in... You can see her face. You can see her moments in battle that remind you, and you press your hand into the flower, and somehow you don't get a vision of the Fae. You get a vision of Winter, Sibo, and the others that traveled together. They're on their airship. They're on the edge of the Fae. And another force that's consuming the energy of the Fae. You watch as a glacial glass mountainscape gets pulled in to a dark, vacuous energy that just crushes it. You watch as Sibo looks down at the slowly consumed Phalens, people fleeing in mass panic away from its catastrophic finality. A feeling of desperation. At that moment that Winter stops whatever she's doing to kind of look, she reaches up towards your scry, and then your eyes are watering and you're back on the back of the griffin with the others staring at you quite intently from their griffins.
That worked. She's still alive. They're all still alive, but the Fae is it's just being consumed. There's like a big black force, and it's just being eaten. They're running. I don't know how long they have.
That big dark force, does it feel familiar to anything at all? We are kind of have this thing above us right now that's kind of dark looking that I have a hard time ignoring. But also Dominion kind of answers to that description a little bit. So just...
Well, it doesn't necessarily feel like the presence of Dominion because of his lack of having enough followers to make his presence known here. Looking up at the eclipse, it's gradually expanding across the lunar landscape as well as the sun landscape. That definitely has some feelings of similarity. You get the feeling that somebody is using power to consume the Fae for a purpose. This is not the season of apogee. This apogee should not be happening. But there it is. Kathy and Rudius are shifting. The sun is darkening. It feels like an apogee, unlike anything you've ever seen before. But it doesn't make sense. It's not in the astral charts. It's not in the astral labes. There's no known predication of this apogee happening. But it kind of matches the concern of the priest of Xanath's order, as well as the very ominous conversation you had with Ludinus. And whether or not Mason fits into this, you feel like he does, but you're still not sure how he specifically fits into what's going on here.
This is all somehow related. This weird growing eclipse and whatever's happening in the Fae. Someone is generating this, but I don't know why or how.
Ludness was counting the days to something, right? This is kind of a terrifying thought that I hope is wrong. But could there be a connection between his timekeeping and whatever strange celestial, possibly time-related thing is happening up there?
It could be, although you would know better than me, Puck. Like, this eclipse is happening at the wrong time, right? Like, this is not, like, naturally when this would occur. This feels like something that's being forced.
Can I do a nature check on any kind of eclipse forces or history of eclipses or anything like that?
Give me history or nature.
22.
Looking at the area around you, there's a couple things you begin to notice. Every now and then you see crackles of what you thought were blue lightning, except they strobe and remind you of those rifts that you saw down in the Shattered Isles. Those rifts of energy that would kind of like fracture, and then strange creatures or strange places out of time would occur. You can also see the beginning on the fringe of all the horizons, a steady growing kind of storm of darkened cloud. Because you're flying on the back of griffins, you don't necessarily feel the increased sense of a wind, but you could see that the griffins are struggling to stay in the headwind. And all the horizons around you laced with blue crackling strobe-like lights just off in the distance. No sound, quite soundless. This feels familiar to you, but at a much larger scale. And you have no known history to compare this with. The last time there was an apogee, to Ludinus's credit, was when Ludinus tried to destroy the divine and bring the arcane into existence through an agreement with a very powerful creature. This agreement fell apart, and he pursued a different method to do this. He harnessed a great deal of power and energy through a device that was something connected directly to him that kept him alive for so long. But with the exhaustion of that device, him being stopped from destroying the divine worlds or the divine gate, there's a sense of whatever he used for his power was consumed. And if Ludinus is trying again, if Ludinus is once again at the center of this, you're not really sure how he's doing it. But to Xanth's concern, it does feel like someone's controlling this, managing this power.
Can I see if I can detect where this sound familiar from?
Your journeys, your initial journey into the Shattered Isles, the journey through the Rift, where time was kind of upended and a great deal of time had lapsed. You get the feeling that whatever's being harnessed in the Shattered Isles is now exponentially getting larger. And that's when you kind of find yourself kind of, without even realizing it, your hand is wrapped around your map.
Oh, I opened the map of Revelations.
Yeah, you open up the map and you start thinking about all these thoughts, all these concerns. The map is chaos. Great spiraling hurricanes of energy. Great storm clouds and tornadoes wash through the different areas that you can experience. Within this immediate area, all of this landmass eventually succumbing to both the violence of the changing of the nature, but a strange kind of undead vibe to it. And on the very fringes beyond the landmass, deep in the frozen waters beyond Wildmont, places that have never been discovered or thought of, you can see one then 2, and then more blob-like masses that represent a huge oncoming mass threat of individuals, like growing and growing ever more off in the distance, as if a mass of something is approaching the northeastern continent of Wildmont. The only thing out there is frozen sea, frozen tundra, the vast empty waters of the space between the far reaches of this side of Wildmont and the narrow reaches of the other side of Viscera. There shouldn't be anything out there as far as you know. Something is forming, taking shape.
Does that feel at all reminiscent of the fire giant taking shape, or is it completely different?
This feels different, looks different, inspires you in a very different way.
You mentioned undead. Is it at all reminiscent of the zombie things that we saw earlier on, created by multiple entities?
Feels very much like that on a grander scale.
Oh shoot. God damn it. Okay. I guess we all talk about that and everybody knows everything. And
It's beginning to feel like we don't have 3 days to see the Bright Queen.
we might need to split up. I mean, or we can see if we can gate shift there, or we can see if any of our plans to expedite this might work.
I have a really crazy idea.
I also have a crazy idea, but please go first.
Xanth, can you call Mason? Can you send to Mason?
Yeah.
Oh, that kind of crazy idea. Never mind. I don't know what I was expecting.
And tell him I want to talk.
You want me to go ahead and...
I want to talk to Mason about. I saw some of Mason's history, in my journey. I saw some of Mason's history, and how he was being used. He's a pawn in Ludinus' game. And what better way to take down a big, big bad than by turning a pawn? He's a very powerful pawn. I use the word pawn because to Ludinus, that is what he is.
I mean,
But if we could,
sorry.
oh, if we could turn him somehow, or at least perhaps learn more from him. That's my crazy idea. What was your spot?
I'd need to take a rest before I could attempt this, but I was going to see if I could basically punch us all into the astral plane and see if we could astral project in front of the queen and meet with her like in 2 hours.
Also weird.
The two opposite approaches.
I don't know about punching myself out of my body.
Like right now, I just I don't have enough reserves of ki to do that even for myself. But with some rest, I think I could give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, this is happening over 3 days, so we could say it happens on the second day.
Yeah, it's a three-day time dilation. I would say at this point you've wrapped up day 1 and you've begun day 2 at this point.
Should we talk to the Bright Queen and then talk to Mason, or vice versa?
Probably a better idea to start with the Bright Queen.
Also, okay, let me know if this is like a typical not great puck idea on that end, but I can, since are we above a forest or above a mountain?
You're currently above a mountain range. You're starting your trajectory over the Ashkeeper Peaks.
Does that count as a favored terrain? Because it is my favorite terrain. It's just
Sure.
Can I do primeval awareness to detect undead, specifically towards that blob thing? And then hopefully by holding the bead of awareness that's supposed to be psychic shielding, I can not, get dead by this, but I just
Get
want
your
to see if I
brain
can
cooked.
detect. Yeah, yeah, not put the brain in the blender. I just want to see if I can get just like a tad more information about what that thing is.
As you settle into that, with your map out, you pulse your awareness out beyond your normal abilities. You know that normally this would be a physical limitation, but being so high up in the sky, coming over the great peaks, the storm unfolding around you as you're now kind of forced into the horizon landscape of the encroachment of the storm. The strobe of lightning and energy off in the distance. You sense an awareness, and there it is. Millions of the undead swarming deep in the frozen ocean of Lucidian, slowly trudging and marching their way towards the edge of the Kryn Empire in the coastal waters.
What do they look like?
They're an amalgamation of everything that's ever drowned, died, fought in the war upon these seas. Humanoid, goblinoid, everything for the last few thousand years, back to primordial time. Everything that can crawl, walk, or be brought back to life is now scraggling, slowly moving. Literally piles of their different states of dead bodies and necrotic forms. It's almost like an amoebic kind of mass moving slowly but steadily towards the eastern regions of Wildmont.
Considering my experience with some of the few gods in that area, like Ukatoa and here, and the gods that I saw way back when I saw them create that, zombie thing, can I put my finger on what kind of entity might be connected with this, behind this, anything like that?
This doesn't feel divine. This feels like something new. Something this world has never seen before. Something has been unleashed. And unleashed out of desperation due to something that they are missing.
Does this have Mason's kind of stink on it?
It does.
Okay, I get my brain out of there before they notice me. Hey guys, you know how we were having a bad day?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I do. I do, in fact. I mean, like, I think mine was going a little bit better than yours because I got to talk to my favorite people. Jeez.
Scott, maybe I shouldn't tell you so this memory can stay good.
No. Hit me up.
There are a bunch of water zombies heading towards the Bright Queen underwater right now who seem to probably have been sprung up by Mason.
Like how many? Like 12? Like 50? What are we talking?
Every single thing. Every single thing that ever died in the ocean is now a mass of gross dead zombie that wants to destroy everything. So
There's at least one
It's not that
merfolk
fire
that's not in
talisman
that
thing,
mask.
right? Like, I'm just saying, like, I feel like that's a really good use for the fire talisman thing we have because that's a lot of like putrid, plutonic ethers, which are very, very, infireable.
Oh,
That seems like a good case for it. Just saying. I mean,
honestly, that's a really good spot solution for this. Like,
Aren't
they're
they-
undead, but they're still flesh, which means they can burn.
But aren't they also really, really wet?
This is a debate for another time.
This is what we debate the most, though. It's a completely unrelated
gassing.
thing.
I am very concerned about reaching out to Helm, considering our last interaction with him. But because this is such a huge scale thing that is not divine, and because it seems like large forces are being kind of turned around and messed with, it's up to you when you feel like is the right time to do this. But I would be very curious to know where somebody like Helm is in relation to everything that's happening.
We did apologize for trying to make use of his champion's realm.
He did kind of get back at us by
apologize.
giving us continued disadvantage that entire night. Yes.
Earthen. How many people can you, mass polymorph at once? Just like,
Up to
I
10.
mean, if they come up out of the sea, I feel like, again, I know you're like, they're soaking wet, but I feel like having a, hundreds of, greater dragons, like, raining them with raining fiery death from on high at them, like, I think that would counteract it.
I mean, I can do 10. I can't do hundreds. I can do 10.
I mean,
But
okay, good try. Good.
10's a lot.
Of course. Oh, okay. Anyway, we'll work on it. We'll workshop it.
We'll workshop it. Puts away the visual aid board.
Oh, and can I just check on my Drake to make sure that he can come back from the coin form?
Do you flip the coin? Catch the coin, nothing happens.
Oh,
Okay, we'll solve this. We've seen worse. I think we'll solve this. We can do this. Earthen, can you inspire us? I think we're a little low on inspiration.
I just start strumming the most inspirational of tunes. You got
Dark
this.
days
We got
are
this.
coming.
We're gonna do it.
Dark
We're the
days.
Right?
Maybe I'll try and quickly commune with Helm as we're, I don't know, like before we talk to the Bright Queen. And I think I can ask him 3 yes or no questions.
Are you still mad?
Are you still mad at me? Would you love me if I was a worm?
That was good.
Well done. 10, no notes.
Definitely worth a D6 inspiration for sure.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I can ask him up to 3 questions that can be answered with a yes or no. I'll say to him, we can sense someone trying to force an apogee solstice. We also are aware of enormous undead forces approaching. And the Bright Queen seeks an audience with us. Can she be trusted?
You feel a sense of cool air, feel the rain kind of falling down across you, pattering on your armor, and you hear Helm utter a deep, "She is trustworthy."
Okay. We believe that Mason is setting these gears into motion, but are unsure how to stop it. Is the blood vault a component of this plan?
It is the means of control of his desperate act. This creature, this hateful creature, has opened the gates.
How long do we have before this is irreversible?
There's a long pause. As long as it takes, he must be stopped. As long as it takes, before my voice diminishes, along with the other 9. Do what you must. And falls silent.
Helm believes the Bright Queen is trustworthy. He says that the vault is the mechanism of control for whatever is happening. I think we have to get there quickly. Maybe that's the place we can reverse this?
Kind of a wild pitch. Can we go to the vault while our bodies are like on the griffins?
Do we want to talk to the Bright Queen first and see if she has any helpful information?
Did Helm tell you how much time we have?
I think he doesn't know. I think he doesn't know. He said to just do what it takes.
I don't know. Spot, Earthen.
I've never done this. I don't know if I physically can, but I might be able to pull us through and to astral project in front of the Queen. It will take me a couple of hours to be able to rest up to try it, but that's better than a couple of days. I mean, worst case, I know I can get through there. I don't know if I can bring the rest of you, but I can certainly try.
That sounds like a plan. Xana, do you think you might be able to like contact her just for like a quick message? Maybe she can come to us on some way. Maybe she can project to us. Or if not, at least you know to expect us.
I could try and contact her based on what I know about her. I'll try and send it. Well, our guide probably is able to talk to her too. But I'll try and send a message to her and say, Bright Queen, this is Xanth. We know you'd like to speak to us. Time is extremely short. Is there a way that you can meet us where we are?
There's a slight pause. I'm sorry, who's this? I have made no request of an audience.
Well, fuck us.
Ruh-roh.
Oh shit, really?
It's like her only response.
I'm gonna cast what's it called?
Detect
Crap,
thoughts?
I'm gonna forget. Yes, thank you. On old Captain up here, Captain Aradone.
Yeah.
Okay. Detect surface thoughts or go deep?
Oh, I'm going deep.
Go deep.
Okay, that'll require a wisdom save and they'll be aware.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Let me find my damn. Oh yeah, it's a DC 19 wisdom save.
Yeah. They have advantage, but I rolled a 4 and a 5.
Finally,
worry,
the dice beat
Master.
somebody else.
They have no idea what is to come. They've taken it hook, line, and sinker. We're bringing them directly to you.
All right.
Fuck us.
No, we're okay. We're okay.
Wait, who was she
I'm
thinking about?
Yeah. So Can
She
I?
was literally communicating in her mind with somebody. And she referred to them as master.
Yep.
Nobody good is ever referred to
I-
as master. Let's
Can
go.
Can I dig through those thoughts to see who she last communicated with?
Give me an intelligence save as you do that.
Okay.
I'll lower the DC because she rolled crappy on her wisdom save.
I also get advantage on those because of the sword. Ha! So we all rolled crappy, but that's a 12.
12.
Yeah. That was a 7 plus 5.
You feel the visual and the consumption of the psychic energy. You focus deep into this psychic conversation they're having with someone, so much so that you visualize the conversation. There's the captain on the back of the Griffin Rider, her eyes closed, communing with this entity. You feel yourself listening to the responding voice with this conversation going back and forth. And you hear the name Mannheim repeated many times. You hear the consultation of Mason's work set in motion, the distraction of lewdness, and there the voice begins to take on a bit more femininity, a bit more recognition. It's the woman who sent you on your mission all of those months ago. The Bloodfelt will be mine, and they will deliver it to me. Even if I have to make the world burn, bring them to me, my love. Bring them down into the valley, and we shall gain what we need to finally understand what is ours. You hear the captain, yes, I will do this. And then the conversation finishes. Let's take a 5-minute break. When we come back, we'll do the last hour. Do.
So, oh, good timing. Good timing, dog. I didn't know if that picked up on the mic, but she just started barking out the
Yeah.
door. Like, we just took a 5-minute break and we've been quiet all time. And as soon as break's over, she's like, "Oh, bark, rough." Oh wow!
She wants everyone to know you're busy playing D&D. Hey, no one bother Dad. Busy with D&D.
Like the guy in the library, you know. Be quiet! It's a library.
With that, day 2 comes to a close. It's on day 3 of your journey that this interaction occurs.
Okay.
It's early morning. You suddenly realize that you haven't been summoned. You're on the back of these griffins being led by someone that is very much loyal to the original woman that sent you on this journey. This individual, where is she?
Witheria.
Witheria Semblum.
Mithia?
Withia,
Yep.
there it is. I'm gonna cast detect magic with my loot and see if I pick up anything off of the guards and the captain, like any magic about them. Not paying attention, not their gear, but if they're under a magical influence.
Yes. I'm back. I'm just going to be off cam for a sec. So just
Okay. They are. Your magic is overwhelmed. You get the feeling that most of what you are seeing and experiencing is a very extensive and powerful illusion.
In that case, I'm as soon as I catch on to that, I'm like I telling it to them through the telepathic bond, and I'm going to cast Dispel Magic at 7th level.
Roll a d20.
Anything added to it, just straight D20. So 14.
14.
Yep.
For Dispel Magic, what is it again? It's a
1 second. Let me...
I can't remember. I don't think you it's 14 does not dispel it. It's a DC 10
10 plus the spell's level. Yeah.
plus the spell's level against your roll, and you rolled a 14. You do not feel as if your spell magic was powerful enough to undo the illusion.
Yeah, because it's only if it's equal to or less than.
How many guards are there besides Errand?
There's just her, a goblin bugbear, and a human rider as well. They're all dressed in the same uniform. The griffins have that look as if they are part of the Bright Queen's entourage and protectorate. They were very specifically careful in their choices of what they've disguised themselves as.
Okay. I'm gonna. Well, do you want to see through the illusion or not? Do we want to see through the illusion or not?
Do we want to blow this up because they'll know that we're onto them? Is there any benefit to them not knowing?
Do you guys want to jump off of the griffins and onto me in a minute?
Sure.
Because it's been over a day, we can change our spells. I'm just looking to see if there's anything I can.
Yeah.
Good. Do we? Would the spell magic or counterspell help at all? Not counterspell, but the spell magic.
You got to cast it at a high level. I cast it at 7th level, and I still had to roll and didn't make it.
Hey guys, I will be back on in just a sec, but I did want to chime in real fast. I assume we're all doing sending still, because my plan was basically, I kind of get the feeling we're going to be trying to take out the captain at least. I was going to try to bumble into her and use my 5-point palm exploding heart technique. But yeah, assuming we are kind of like wanting to sabotage this mission and don't necessarily care a whole lot about stealth.
Oh, sorry. Real quick, before we go farther than that. Game Master. Blanked on the word. Sorry. I'm reading Dispel Magic. For each spell of 4th level or higher on the target, make an ability check using your spellcasting ability. The DC is 10 plus the spell's level. So my spellcasting ability, would I add my modifier to that or not?
That's a good question. Hold on. It's been a while.
So wait, wouldn't Storyteller have to roll against your DC of 17?
No, because he's trying to.
I'm trying to
dispel the illusionary spell.
Right.
And so the DC on that spell is 10 plus that spell's level,
which would be a 19.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I can cast something that would make it hard. Enemies abound, which would make them unable to distinguish friend from foe. Would that kind of confuse them in this state enough to not know what to do?
Yes, you would add your spellcasting ability to that 14.
So my modifier?
Correct.
Okay. Then that is 19.
Okay, 19 meets it, beats it.
Sorry, I was rereading Spell Magic, and I was like, hang on, because it just calls it your modifier.
Right.
So, yeah, I have a +5 on my. It's just the modifier +5.
Right.
Being a bard.
You all watch as the illusion crackles and fade.
Oh.
You're over the wide open sea, and you could see the veil up ahead as you're approaching the Shattered Isles.
Suddenly makes sense why you saw the blue shit.
Oh God, yeah. Damn.
Everybody act cool. Because they wouldn't necessarily know that we just dispelled the whole thing. But
As far as they're concerned, they're just Heads in the wind, moving as forward and quickly as they can.
All right. I would like to kind of stumble into the captain. So that I
She's
can
on a
kind of-
totally different griffin.
Can I stumble into who's piloting my griffin?
You're on your griffin.
Oh, I thought I had another person.
No, you are each on your own individual griffins. The four of you are bunched up behind the four of them that are slightly up ahead.
All right. Can I telepathically speak to Earth? Like, do I need to take the captain out?
No.
All right.
But we're all telepathically speaking to each other anyway, by the way.
Correct.
This is telepathic bond. So yeah. But no, don't. I don't think you need to do that. We got. There's other things we can do. Man, this opened up a whole new. So,
Well,
go ahead.
we know. It sounds like they're taking us. She said into a valley, so they're trying to lead us to the blood vault, right? Because they want us to unlock it.
Feels like it.
Nope. Yeah.
So we kind of need to go there anyway, but I don't think we want to go in and get ambushed.
I think we
Is
should.
there any advantage in holding on to these guys? Or should we just kill them?
Okay, cleric.
Bad guys! Clerics are down for killing
My
bad guys.
again, my plan was.
Dude,
kind of-
we didn't ask what they look like. We just yeah.
Okay, cleric, let's do this. Let's kill them all.
We didn't ask if they were dead at all. I didn't ask anything. I just dispelled where we are. They could, for all we know, they could still be dressed up like they were.
Yeah,
But-
but they're
Storyteller, what do they
evil.
look like?
I mean, they look like. Well, I mean, they're far enough ahead. Looking up at them, they are wearing uniforms, but I need you to make a deception check because the captain looks back at you, and you see the undead face of the captain.
Oh, I
looking
need to
at
make a
you.
deception check? Okay.
Yeah, because if you're surprised or show any emotion,
Yeah.
she's gonna know the illusion fell.
I got an idea on that. Let me make sure I can still do it.
I'm gonna use my
21.
fun game and self-inspire.
Dude, this was a 19. People need to know that this was a 19.
Wait, is everyone rolling or is it just.
No, just Earthen.
Okay.
Oh.
Because Earthen's specifically looking up as you guys are telepathically talking to each other.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's a 20. Hang on, where are we at? Deception, 24.
24. You're good. You just hear the non-illusionary raspy voice of the captain. We're almost there. Be patient. You're doing great. And kind of goes back to piloting the Griffin.
What's up, bud?
Do you guys think I could do suggestion on them and just kind of suggest to them to, like, oh, we'll be out, we'll be right back, don't worry about it?
Do you have mass suggestion or just suggestion?
Just suggestion, but it says that
It's only for one target.
limited to, yeah. Yeah.
Just do it on the
mass
captain.
suggestion. I have mass suggestion, though. That's why I asked.
Oh, yes, please.
That's what I was gonna do anyway. But you said you could. I was like, well, you go for it. You know.
Yes, let the person with an ounce of charisma do this, please.
Yeah. So I'll cast mass suggestion, and I'll tell them, you guys go on ahead. We'll catch up. I think I dropped something back there.
Okay.
That's and it's going to all of them. It's a wisdom 19 again.
That is a 25. save. Now, does that mean they're aware that you did it?
I think they just don't. Hang on. You suggest course of activity, magical influence. Who can hear and understand you? Can't see is worded in such a manner as to take an action. Let's see. Target space wisdom throw. On failed save pursues. Suggest the course of activity. Specify conditions. Hang on. The suggested course of action can continue for the entire duration. Spell trigger.
You're reading all the success. We need the failure.
I know. I'm looking for. Well, I mean, it says on a success. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't say if you fail. If you're unaffected, if you hit them, that's what happens. On a failed save, it pursues course of action. It doesn't say.
Yeah, it doesn't really say, does it? Now, why would you do that? Don't worry. Don't be afraid. We're almost there. Be patient.
But it was my lucky coin.
There will be other lucky coins, I assure you.
Out of curiosity, has anybody spoken, like, just said anything to the Griffins? Has there been anything there that they may be able to understand? Not
What
necessarily
Griffins?
The Griffins were on.
You mean the wyverns?
Sorry, the Wyverns. I thought we were on Griffins.
No, well,
You
yeah,
were.
I did
The
think they were
illusion
different.
spell. That's like Eartha goes from looking at the undead creature riding what should
I
be a
did have my,
griffin, but the rain is kind of blurring everything. And then you look down to see you're on the scaled back of wyverns. Then you look up and you can see the scales and the brown texture of the wyverns that the others are on as the complete illusion has been undone.
Okay.
Down below, you can see a single island getting bigger. You can see the veil of the Shattered Isles getting closer as well, but this island is beginning to get larger and larger and larger. You can feel the wyverns descending.
We gotta no,
Out.
we gotta get out of here.
Out. Okay. I can get spell fly if we want to fly, but I think if one of us can just become a dragon and we can get the fuck out.
Fly closer to me.
We're all flying close together.
Fly closer to me.
Feel the wyverns drift into each other to get a little bit closer.
And when I say 3, jump on my back. Okay.
It's gonna be a timing thing.
Yep.
Group effort.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Spot,
be like a
and you
deck
help them
thing.
out, buddy.
We'll do enhance ability,
One
whatever.
wants to kind of stay in the back there just so that they can possibly pick up anybody that.
Okay, so Eartha, you change first, correct?
Yeah, I will trigger. Like I'm gonna count. I'm gonna say 3 and polymorph myself.
So 1, 2, 3. What do you polymorph into?
I'm gonna polymorph myself into an ancient brass dragon.
Now, do you do that after leaping off the back of the wyvern or from the back of the wyvern?
From the back of the wyvern.
So as you transform,
So I'm gonna like that wyvern. It's gonna be a very
like as you
surprised
transform,
and terrified.
your
wyvern.
huge wingspan unfurls and tumbles into the other wyverns around you as it slams into Puck,
Yep, like-
slams into Xana's wyvern, and the tail unfolds and collapses into Spots. As soon as you say 3, all 3 of them leap in your direction as high and fast as they can. Spot, this is easy enough for you that you actually kind of Legolas the tail, and as you're running, you realize that a wind catches Puck, and she kind of like tumbles off of her wyvern. You reach up and you grab her by her belt and pull her towards you. And you're carrying her, and you start sprinting up the remains of the tail. You get onto the back of Earth, and Xanath, give me a athletics or acrobatics, if you would, please.
Okay, I cast it didn't wind up being relevant, but I cast enhance ability on everyone for Dex. You said athletics or acrobatics. Okay,
Your choice.
All right. Okay. It's an 18.
Nice. You go tumbling off your wyvern just as the wing slams into it, just crushing it under the weight of the wing. You watch as Pucks gets slammed and crushed. The one that Earthen's on just gets completely crushed by the chest and like forming of the ancient brass dragon. Puck tumbles a bit but gets caught by Spot because that's what he said he was doing. He's going to stay there, be the last one to go, and see if he sees anyone. And he does. So he grabs Puck first, which frees you to leap over onto Earthen's back. And boom, as all of you settle in on the backside of Earthen's huge dragon form, he begins to bank away as the other 4 wyvern riders see this and are now banking and turning towards you guys.
I'm gonna.
Well, I was gonna try and blow at them. I was gonna try and fire breath them before they bank away.
Give me a
we
D6.
changed and then I'm
because
like
your initial change means that you have a breath weapon that's ready to go.
Yep.
So you're getting ready to blast them with your breath weapon. What are the rest of you doing?
because we're behind them, so I was just
Yeah, you're banking away, and then you could curl and just like unleash your breath weapon as they turn to follow you.
I'm kind of reserving an action. I'm just kind of like tensing up on Earthen's tail. Like if I have to jump onto one of the other wyverns, I'm ready, but I'm just kind of sitting back there waiting.
Okay. Xanath, what are you and Puck doing?
I'm casting Turn Undead, or Destroy Undead if any of them are lower level enough.
Yeah, you just bring out your divinity and channel Helm's essence in the direction that they're coming from. Puck, anything you want to do?
Can I do wind wall and try to just really blow them away from us?
Yeah, you arc, bring your hands together, and you form a massive wind wall in front of you. Just as Xanath turns undead, you can see the divine energy pouring out from in front of her. You watch as Earthen's huge brass dragon head arcs at the same time, and this huge gout of flame washes over all of them at the same time. You watch as 4 clumps of ashen and fractured beasts and their riders tumble slowly and kind of corkscrew with contrails of smoke, and then way down below in the water.
I'm diving down to like the water's edge, but not at the island, like offshore.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, like way offshore of the island. And you kind of bank and course around, and you're now just above the water level.
Yeah. So we're like flying towards the island still, but instead of descending towards it, we're on the ground flying at it. And I would like to try and stealth.
Can I help by
Stealth is a giant, ominous brass dragon coming in on the island. That kind of stealth.
I mean, we're at the water level, right? It's raining, and the intention is I'm not like outside of blasting them out of the sky. We banked away and are trying to.
Perfect. Before you do that, I was going to. I actually have 2 invisibility spells that I can cast on you. All I have to do is touch you, and until so you can be an invisible dragon. And I don't know if that applies to everyone.
It definitely make it less obscure.
How long does that last?
Or carrying is invisible as long as it is on the target's person. So it's concentration up to an hour for me.
Okay.
I actually have 2 ways of doing that. But I can do that. I can just make you invisible with all of us as long as I'm concentrating on it.
Cool.
Awesome.
I'm down with
so
that.
let's go.
Puck, what were you thinking of doing?
Oh, I was gonna suggest either invisibility or mist cloud, but I guess mist would be more, would be less good than just being straight up invisible.
Are you good mist or are you bad mist?
We don't have time for jokes. They need to get out of here. You should get out, get out, get out.
You watch as Spot touches Earthen, and Earthen forms goes invisible. You guys are like on his back. It's a little weird because you could see through the transparency and the seawater rushing beyond, like just right underneath you. It feels like you're just flying at this like tremendous speed, with this large island slowly coming into more of a dominant view. Earth, and give me stealth with advantage because you are invisible.
Yep.
Oh, I can also do pass without a trace, and that should add.
It's okay. It's a nat 20 plus 6 because they have a plus 6 to stealth.
Never mind then.
I rolled a 12 and a 20.
That would have been
So
a plus 10 to
26?
stealth.
26, yeah.
You sure you don't want that plus 10?
It
For
would be
36.
Let's throw it on there too.
Yeah.
okay. So that would
Okay.
be a plus 10 stealth to the team.
So 36.
I rolled a 19 plus 9, which is a 28.
Oh,
You can see these
me.
two very large central peaks in the middle of the island. It is surrounded by dense jungle foliage and 200-foot high cliffs that just drop all along the edge of the island. The island is maybe 2 or 3 miles across. You could see a blue band of rift-like energy that's arcing continuously between the two islands. You can hear the storm in the background shattering and echoing across the way. In between, you can see what looks to be a structure or a platform down in the darkness between the two monolithic peaks. And too far to see anybody, but you're currently fast approaching the cliff's edge, and so far no one's noticed you, as far as you can tell.
I do have a plus 14 to perception as the giant dragon.
And you're flying, so you have advantage. Give me a perception check as you start getting closer to the island's edge.
That's a 29.
29. As you get closer to the island's edge, there's something strange about this island that you're on. The wind is pushing one direction, but yet the coastal water of the island is ebbing the opposite direction, almost as if it's moving. Almost as if the island's not stationary. And that's when you see just below the surface to the right and left side of the island, you can see massive Earth-like arms that are just under the surface, maybe a mile or half mile in length. You can see huge pods of whales and dolphins fleeing this thing. And you suddenly notice that there's a gate to the way that the island seems to be moving. And under the sheer surface of the water, frothing with foam and curling with waves, see the face as you are now hovering near an Earth Titan.
So this is a out of character question. Would the would the telepathic bond have stayed intact? Because it's not a concentration; it's just casted.
It's duration, right?
Yeah.
You're a bard, but a dragon has high enough intelligence and wisdom. It'd be easier for a druid to pull it off because of their natural shapeshift abilities. But I would say due to your high wisdom that you're able to maintain the telepathic bond. But to them, you sound like a dragon.
Right, and it would have been more like, is that an Earth Titan? Like,
yeah.
It would have just been the dragon's reaction, like, is that an Earth Titan kind of thing?
yeah.
To draw your all's attention to it.
Yeah. What the hell is going on here?
Also, can I cast non-detection on us so no one can scry on us or find us through magical means?
Crackles around you. The invisible form of Earthen still underneath you. All of you now non-detectable as well. Just kind of slowly circling off the coast. What you thought was an island is now a massive Earth Titan that is seemingly moving in a very northerly direction towards the shores of the Menagerie Coast.
Well, we gotta stop that. You said there's something in the middle of it.
Yeah, like what you thought were two giant peaks might be a
Yeah.
part
Like
of the Earth
shoulder or
Titan
something,
form,
maybe. Yeah.
but there's a huge clump of jungle and other kind of flora and fauna that make up the center of the mass of the jungle area of the open space between these two huge peaks. But there looks to be something structured, something built, almost like a square-shaped building of some sort that might be in and down amongst it. And then striking between the two peaks, the continuous eruption of rift-like energy striking between the two peaks. And because you hover and take your time, you notice the occasional drift of energy cracking down towards the surface of the Earth Titan. You can see very thin vapors of energy wisping off into different directions down beneath the water, almost as if its font or its power is being drawn from a rift that's contained in between these two peaks.
So I'm gonna bring us in towards that jungle, in between the two spires. I'll pull us into the jungle, and kind of as I get close, I'll start to set down, and then as the dragon first, I'll shift shape to a humanoid form, and then I'll drop polymorph. That way, it's a little easier than the last time when I just dropped everybody off.
Yeah, like everyone cautiously. Spot makes it look easy every time. So Spot just kind of, skateboard slides off your tail as it forms back into your form and just kind of gently lands on his feet. You switch into a humanoid form, but then, it guides everyone else down. As you find a small clearing, the rain still ongoing, the crack of the energy of the rift directly up above. You're in a very thick, dense-like jungle environment.
Baby, you're getting humans.
Does it feel familiar at all?
Looking around, not really.
Oh my god, okay. So just, we should contact the Bright Queen and tell her about the army that's going her way, because it seems like
it's
she would
coming
be...
her way.
Oh.
We saw that on the map coming our way, and we thought our way was the Bright Queen's way.
Makes sense.
We weren't actually there at all. We were on the whole other side of everything.
Can we contact her just to tell her who we are, what's happening out over here, what's happening in the Fae, maybe about her sister in case that can help us? And then also, can we go very fast to Strahd's castle and do what we have to do before this gets any worse?
You don't want to go find out what this thing is in the middle of here?
For once, Puck is not curious.
I think
This is the character development.
we're in enemy territory right now, right?
If Earthen's right, then not only are you riding on the back of an Earth Titan or up on its head-like structure, but
We're
somewhere
headed-
deep down below, millions of undead creatures are following this thing. This thing is striding towards the coast of Wildmont.
And this thing, it seems to be being powered by the thing between the pillars, whatever that is.
Yeah, these huge mountain peaks, and constantly crackling between the peaks is a rift. Like the rifts that you've experienced through traveling through the Shattered Isles.
Is there anything we can do to shut this thing down before we
We
go
won't
to the
know
ball?
till we won't know till we get up to the middle of this thing, right?
Yeah.
And now you can feel that low kind of like takes like 5 minutes for it to take a step, but when it does, it's like a minor earthquake, just this minor earth tremor that kind of ripples up the body of the creature itself. And then the crack of the rift energy being absorbed into the mountains You're at the edge of a very dense clump of jungle. From what you saw above, maybe only a few 100 feet in front of you is the beginning of that structure that you're pretty sure that you saw, Earthen. But it's very much obscured by all the jungle overgrowth.
I had an idea for the Earth Titan. Like, it would not involve Earthen even dropping cloak, but because I can talk to it, I was curious if I might just kind of yell just to see if I could communicate with it. Just, see if it may be friendly to us.
Oh, the look
the
on
tables
everybody's
have
face.
turned.
That's such a spot move.
Yeah.
Either that or Zenith's headset is dying.
She's like, did I really hear that?
I'm hearing like some ringing. I don't know if you guys are hearing that, like some ringing in the background. I was trying to figure out if it was me.
Yeah, every once in a while. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear it occasionally. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's coming from somebody's mic, maybe.
yeah, I get that. Yeah.
I mean, I could try and detect its thoughts.
Well, can you do that as a dragon?
He's turned back.
Oh, okay.
I've already I've dropped polymorph. Yeah.
Okay.
We landed and we're on it now by the jungle.
I missed that. Yes.
Also, this is kind of a dumb idea, but I do have slow, so I can maybe cast slow on the Titan to make it slower.
Would it know that though?
It would be a wisdom saving throw. But it doesn't strike me as particularly smart. You alter time around up to 6 creatures of your joint. It is a 40-foot cube within range, so maybe
It
no.
feels slightly undersized
Okay.
in its effectiveness. Yeah.
You slowed its brain, right?
Well, I know we don't have a whole lot of time, but I can just kind of because we are physically on the guy, right? Again,
Yeah, you're on the, based on what Earthen saw and what he communicated, you're every 5 minutes, you feel the tremor of it walking up the rock form that it is. It's basically like being on the back of a giant city that's able to walk on its own. The 2 huge peaks with the rift energy arcing between it, and every now and then energy running down into the structure that is hidden in the jungle.
I got another idea.
What you got?
It might involve us plummeting into the ocean if it works.
I'll be okay with that, but I mean,
I would like to hear the idea first.
What if we just plane shift the Titan out of here?
well, again, let me at least talk to the guy, like, because if he's amenable to us, like, we may have a 500-foot rock ally.
I love your optimism.
Even at the end of the world, Spot's still very optimistic.
I mean, I'm not trying to kill it. This thing is teeming with rift energy, and I'm like pointing at the blue sparks flying back and forth between it. So it might not work, but yeah, the worst thing that happens
is 5 minutes of time. But so Will, because I just want to kind of lay my hand on the Rock Titan's features, like wherever I am. I assume I'm like shoulder, head.
You're
whatever.
standing on it.
Yeah, I know.
We are on the Titan.
I know. I'm trying to just kind of like so I can kind of focus what I'm doing and just. Great one. Can you understand me?
Give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion? Oh, I'm bad at persuasion. Okay, I'm not that bad. Okay. Oh, fuck me. That is a nat 1.
Oh, no.
All of you just feel the creature shudder. The trees kind of flame back and forth. You can see avalanches tumbling down the peaks. And you just hear this like froth of laughter from the front of the structure as a huge tidal wave of seawater arcs up and crashes in to the 200-foot cliffs down below. You just hear this kind of psychic resonance. Mistress, we have visitors.
Okay, plane shift. No,
Got it.
no.
Yep, bad move.
I'm gonna so I'll cast plane shift.
At what level?
It's 7th level. Yeah. That's charisma 19.
Just because I've been rolling very poorly, it's going to use a legendary resistance to immediately pass that. You feel the spell take hold, but the embodiment of the creature is so massive, the spell's ability just kind of fades in. You then watch as the jungle canopy begins to part.
We do have
Cracking.
non-detection.
You watch as the trees kind of collapse around you, and you see a familiar person coming out of the tree line.
Oh,
The one that you remember who gave that speech almost a year ago now, since your last journey within Nicodranus, where it began. As Withenia Wanderman Assembly herself comes floating out of the destroyed jungle canopy that she collapses, almost to see you in shock. Her eyes wide, her smile long and thin. As she stares at the four of you, just hovering above the jungle canopy.
All right.
And that's where we're going to finish tonight.
Damn. He's going to tackle all of you guys and drag you kicking and screaming into the ethereal plane so that they can...
But does that take all of us or just our... Or it takes our bodies?
It's what we do with your family.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going to finish tonight. And I hate to do this to you guys, but I go on vacation Saturday and Sunday. Me and the wife are actually going. Yeah, it's for my birthday weekend. So we're actually going out of town to Henderson and staying at a resort for a couple days. And kind of, it's not going to be that fancy. I'm pretty sure we're going to get 2 days of solid sleep is what it's going to feel like. 2-year-old is coming with us as well. So it's, it's that, hey, Dubtech, it's that break that we need and we don't ever take. And I finally looked at her. I said, look, we're taking a family break this time, per usual. So you guys hang out. We're going to say goodbye to everybody else, and we'll talk about the remainder as we are going to start part 1 of the final arc in 2 weeks, which will be the beginning of the finale of this campaign.
Beginning of the
everybody else, thank you for joining us tonight. We are off next Sunday, but the following Sunday will be part 1 of the beginning of the finale of this adventure. Hopefully you can begin to join us for that. It's going to be a wild ride, I think, to say the least. So be safe, be kind, and don't forget, play a game. Good night, everybody. Good night. I think my voice is getting me through puberty again.